Yankee spring training is underway, and we heard some more comments from Aaron Boone today about Josh Donaldson. And I wanted to talk to our Yankees beat reporter, Greg Joyce. And Greg, how you doing, man?
Good, thanks. Thanks for having me, Ryan.
Of course. And Aaron Boone was asked about Josh Donaldson and the struggles he went through last season, and a lot of Yankees fans were giving it to him at the stadium. And there was a lot of pressure on him, obviously, after the trade from the Minnesota Twins, along with Isaiah Kiner-Falefa. And Boone was asked about the chances of Josh Donaldson having a bounce back season this year, and he said this.
First of all, we're talking about a great player. Like, this has been a star player, and consistently for a long time. He's not far removed from 2021, where he was still a wrecking ball. I think last year with the lockout, probably came in a little behind the eight ball. I think he had an amazing winter. He's physically, he looks great. His assessments, everything, he's moving really well. But the things he did this winter to get himself ready to go, I think you're crazy to think that a bounce back is not in there offensively. This guy still has bat speed, and again is super talented, and I think physically at this point in a much better place than he was a year ago right now.
Now, when you heard those comments, Greg, from Aaron Boone, what were your first initial thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, not altogether surprising, just because Boone is he's always supporting his guys, and he's never one to say anything and that can be construed as a negative about any of his guys. So I think it's not necessarily too surprising. I mean, Brian Cashman and Boone both, during the offseason, when given a chance to talk about Donaldson or anything like that, they both gave him votes of confidence. Obviously they think that he's in a much better physical condition than he was last year. When they traded for him right at the start of spring training last year, which came after the lockout, and it wasn't totally clear when spring training was starting. So he was Boone said that Donaldson was beginning the season from behind the eight ball. So Donaldson kind of went to work this offseason to put himself in a better position to be able to have some success this year. And even he said, he didn't want to talk a ton about what he did specifically or how he kind of attacked the offseason, because it's the proof's in the pudding, which is what he does on the field when it counts this season. So it'd be interesting. Obviously he played defense pretty well last season. They thought he should have been a Gold Glove finalist at third base, but he's 37 now, so it's in one case you could say, like, is the offense falling off? There's still more there in the tank, but I think Donaldson made it a point this offseason to kind of, go to work, put his body in position to be able to bounce back this year.
But when you look at the offensive numbers, they were some of the worst of his entire career. I mean, they've gone down when you talk about on-base percentage, batting average, the power numbers. It just seems like the contact is not there and the bat speed is not there, what they're touting up that he's previously had in his career. So when you look at the outlook of Josh Donaldson for the 2023 Yankees, how do you see this playing out? Will Josh Donaldson be an everyday third baseman starting for them this upcoming season?
I think he'll certainly get the chance to do that. You mentioned the bat speed. That was one of the things that Boone talked about today. They think the bat speed is still there. And all their assessments that they did when he came in for his physical, at the start of spring, they said the numbers were all really strong. So I think he'll get that first crack at being the everyday third baseman. But they do have a bunch of infielders right now. And remains to be seen whether they make a trade by the end of camp. If everybody's staying healthy, that's obviously the key. But they have DJ LeMahieu, who could see some time over there if he proves he's healthy. Oswaldo Cabrera as well can slide over to third base. So they have a number of options there if they need to. If Donaldson isn't able to get off to a strong start, it'd be interesting to see how much of a leash he gets there. But if the Yankees keep all these guys, they certainly have the versatility and options to kind of play a few different guys there if needed.
Obviously, there's a lot of options for the Yankees, like you just pointed out there, for third base if it doesn't work out with Josh Donaldson. But a lot of fans talk about the money that Josh Donaldson's owed this season, and that's still the reason why he is on this roster. When I ask you this question, do you think Josh Donaldson is the everyday third baseman because of that money that's still owed to him? Or do you think that he actually is the best option for them currently at third base?
Yeah, I think that, the contract is probably baked into the equation, at least to some extent, is probably also part of the reason why he's still, with the team, wasn't traded this offseason. That's a tough contract to trade at that price. But Boone said today he's not far off from 2021 when he had OPS over 800, which is the Yankees would certainly take that this year. Obviously, his MVP season in 2015 is a little bit further back. His 2021 with the Twins was still a strong, productive player at the plate. They think that's still in the tank. So, they entered the season, I think, very committed to at least giving him a chance to prove that last year was not a fluke, but kind of just an off year and not just the start of the tail end of his career.
Well, a lot of Yankees fans are hoping to be proved wrong and that Josh Donaldson can prove to be a valuable asset for this team as they chase for the 28th title for their franchise. Greg, appreciate you as always, man.
Thanks, Ryan.